The views, information, or opinions expressed in this episode are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the University of Hawaii College of Tropical Agriculture and Human Resilience, our funders, or any of the organizations affiliated with this project. Welcome to a Seeds of Wellbeing Experts in the Field podcast featuring Hawaii agriculture producers and affiliates working in their field of expertise to support agriculture in Hawaii, in the United States, and in some cases around the world. These podcasts are made possible by a grant from the University of Hawaii College of Tropical Agriculture and Human Resilience, also known as CTAHR, and the Seeds of Wellbeing or SO project, and is supported by a grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, National Institute of Food and Agriculture, and the Hawaii Department of Agriculture.
We are looking at doing a few stores we're talking through right now about going into more convenience stores, but we're mostly focused on online sales.
Yep.
It's where the money is, so we try to offset the cost. I mean, it costs us a lot of money to produce the product. We lose half the product when we make it, right?
Yes.
In dehydration, then we pay the USDA to go on the hunt. So there's a lot of money going out and a little bit coming in. So our job is to sell half of it online, and then we move into, we love the military, we love working with them, they love our product. They're an incredible organization to work with, and we're really happy about having them as a partner. And we keep growing. We used to be in Foodland, we used to be in all kinds of places. We've had all kinds of issues, but that's the nature of business in Hawaii, is you got to figure out your niche and stick to it.
Yeah, and adapt, right? It sounds like you're figuring it out, adapting as you need to, and that's kind of what it takes, right?
Absolutely.
If you are an agriculture producer in Hawaii, you've heard about feral ungulates. Those are the pigs, goats, and deer that run wild on the islands and can do such extensive damage to crops and the land. Many are frustrated by their impact and spend thousands of dollars to keep them out or even more to recover from what damage they do. When on Oahu recently, we discovered Iggy from Makana Provisions, who's trying to address this invasive animal problem by hunting them, processing them, and then selling them to feed the islands and beyond. In this episode, we have with us Iggy Fleischauer, who's from Makana Provisions, and welcome to Iggy, and thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. My real name is Ignacio Fleischauer. He's easier. Some people call me a chef. Not really. I don't think of myself as a chef. I learn everything in the field. And just so happens that I cook really well, and I do a lot of work in the community, feed people. I've been doing that all over the world, and ended up back home in Hawaii. And I'm glad to be here in Makana. Yeah, we have Makana Aina Foundation, we have Makana Provisions, which is a meat company, and Makana Wild was a jerky. And the reason we separate all those things is for business reasons, just in case something ever goes wrong with one, we can keep going. I think try to think of things as more business minded, even though we try to be more spiritual minded in what we do.
We'll look at the websites, or maybe we'll comment on the websites and kind of different strategies that folks might use to navigate them and why, and some of the things that you have on there. But if you wouldn't mind sharing with us sometimes we call it the Hawaii story. It's like what's your connection to Hawaii, and how long have you been on island, and what's your what island are you on, or islands are you on, and what kinds of things are you doing in Hawaii?
My father's originally from Hawaii, and he left in the Marine Corps, and he traveled, and he went to Nam, and he hadn't been home, and his dying wish was sail back home to Hawaii. And we grew up Hawaiian style in the mainland, in Texas and California. And coming to Hawaii, we came in 1987, 88. And we made his dream come true, which was to sail back home to Hawaii when he was dying of cancer. We barely made it, so we know what it's like to go hungry. We were out there a while, but when we landed in Hawaii, it felt like home. And though I traveled all over the place, it always felt like home being here in Hawaii. And part of that is the feeling of being connected to the land and being connected to people who, when we first arrived, brought us in and welcomed us and showed us things. And I grew up hunting and fishing in the mainland, learning Hawaiian style, but also the Native American. My grandfather was, in my dad's side, was half Apache, half German, who came here in the military, and my grandmother came from Spain, and they were both my males, Kauai and Big Island, and they were ranchers and farmers. All of our families were related to the Martins and the Pachecos. A lot of family here. Like I said, I think coming here, being welcomed and taught and brought in as family, uh, it cemented who I became as a person and what I want to do, and it felt like home. Like that's the best way to say it. It felt like home.
Yeah, and you're based on Oahu now, is that right?
Correct. I'm based on Oahu, mostly because all the businesses here, the sales are here, everything happens here. We've lived on Kauai for a bit. I lived on Big Island, and I work on Molokai and Maui. Don't get to hunt as much anymore as we're too busy running the business, and so it's taken me away for a while from being back on the land. But we're hoping to get back on the land again and spend
Yeah.
more time outdoors.
And it sounds like you've spent some time on most of the islands.
Yes, did a lot
Yeah.
of work. Even as in high school, I was doing work in the community, doing gang prevention, doing um, bringing kids into the land and taking them outdoors, outdoor leadership, and all that kind of stuff. So,
So tell us about the Makana and the Makana products that you started. I think I may have read on the website 2012 is that about when some of the Makana stuff started, or how did that come about? And maybe tell us what Makana means or means to you.
sure. So I actually got started doing catering, and I was actually doing teaching, and I'm a coder by trade originally. I never wanted to be in the food business because I love food and that connection to food. Um, but I was teaching hunting, um, and as a way of looking at life and teaching how to use animals nose to tail. And I was doing pig and some venison, and then I got asked to help um, Uncle Desmond Manama on Molokai, who started all of the USDA wild harvesting, and he lobbied, and I helped him lobby and did all these things to make things happen so that we could bring wild food to the table. And he started way back when, before that, and I came along and helped him grow the market, and we kind of did a good job. And the name Makana was because I teach kids, and when I was teaching and doing all these programs, I was teaching that it's a gift that we're given by the Creator and whatever you believe in, and that there's these gifts that we have to take care of because they are gifts, and they feed us, and they do. This earth brings a lot to us, and every animal, every plant, there's no separation of life, and it's a great gift, and so Makana is a special gift, right? So that's why I chose the name.
Okay. So if folks are interested in finding out more about Makana, both either as consumers or potentially as ag producers that may want to work with you, how would you suggest they start? Like which website and what do you suggest is the best way for people to get to know you?
So I think the best way is to just call me up or come visit our store in 1720 Palolo Avenue. Um, it's kind of our food hub. We manufacture product there. We want to help other farmers. They can sell stuff there. Um, we can help them bring products to market. They can test to market a little store, and then grow from there. We can help them get into bigger retailers. We have a lot of websites. So Makana Provisions is our .com is our catalog. So we have a lot of products on there, but we don't sell much anything on there. Um, but kind of wild is what we're focused on right now, which is jerky. It made more sense to kind of focus on that for a bit, as that product is easier to ship and light. So if you have ideas to make products, I recommend to people make it easy to ship and light, and it's shelf stable, and you're gonna make more money that way. And any farm product, anything you do, if you can make that happen, it's gonna help you offset the cost of production.
Okay. And I saw on the Makana Wild website there was a pop-up about a 2-day hunt on Molokai.
Oh yeah,
Is that
we do every year. We do a contest so people can come in a 2-day hunt on Molokai. and whatever you shoot, you get to take home. And we feed you. We provide guns if you need guns. We provide everything. Um,
How do the airlines feel about you flying the meat back? Is it do you harvest, process, do everything on island and then just kind of wrap it and send it, or how do you bring the
yeah,
animal back?
either way, we do it. We have a great deal. Alaska Airlines is really taking care of us because we are an ag company. We ship meat back and forth to the mainland. We make some products in the mainland. Um, so we do a lot, and but we have good deals with the airlines and Young Brothers, and they've taken care of us, and so we've been very lucky to have that kind of help from those bigger companies.
Okay. And are you looking for producers that or hunters that are harvesting? For example, I was just talking to the county about the big problem on the Big Island, which is where I live and farm, and talking about they're trying to get a process where the people that want to get rid of the pigs are connected with people that want to process them and use the meat, right? So it seems kind of the ideal combination. So I'm just wondering if something like that. I know you have Hawaii Big Island connection, so
We want to do all the invasives everywhere, and we have ideas on what to do with it, and it's just the bottleneck is some of the USDA and the rules and the regulations. And I think if you catch pigs, you can feed them for 3 months, and then they're domesticated technically. Then you can bring them to USDA.
okay.
Yes,
It sounds like you know a lot of the rules or have had to deal with them over the years, yeah?
we would
Yeah.
love to tackle the goat problem too. There's a lot of issues on Big Island, but we're kind of limited by resources. Number one, how many USDA places can do it, and then the other part is can will the USDA allow us to do it?
Okay. So at the moment is your supply of meat of animals is that steady and you're good and you're just kind of working out the details or are you interested in talking to people that may want to work with you to help you harvest more?
We're interested in learning people that want to harvest more and do. We know it's a hard road to get to USDA, and to get a clean headshot every time. You need really good shooters. You could lose your license. You invest a lot of money. So it's hard to do that. And we have a good system down, so we don't mess with that system. But when we explore doing other things such as pet food, then we could have um, more conversations about bringing in food and processing it. We have a USDA facility in our place too.
I did notice you have partnerships with Kualoa Ranch, University of Hawaii, and it looks like the Defense Commissary. So tell us more, and Hapa, tell us more about that.
So Hapa is our food hub, and that's where we make most of our jerky and stuff and other value-added products. Besides venison and bison and beef, we also, when we take food from the farmers, we make dressings. We just started a new sauce. We call it the Foundry sauce that uses a lot of invasives, including ta'ape and the ogu that's invasive and strawberry guava. And so we made a sauce. It's a foundation sauce that you can use in many dishes, and it's real popular. Um, so we do many things at our hub, and that's the Hopper Market and Grill, and we sell out of there. Um, so the licensing with the sports with UH is we license to do product with them, a Warrior Bar. We're stoked to be in the locker room for the athletes. That's what partnership we have with them. Cool Oils buys our product and they sell it, and we haven't done any stuff with their beef yet. We're trying to get there, but we'd love to have more beef and more people that supply beef all the time. And the defense commissary, they love our product. I was lucky enough to get a one-on-one with some of the main decision makers from Washington, and I fed them all our venison products, and they accepted 32 items into the first year, 32 different SKUs into the program, and everybody's like, "How the heck did you do that?" And we make good food, and mostly because we put our love into it. It's not rocket science. We just put love into it, and the meat is really good. So
Yeah, and did I see on one of your sites, maybe it was on the Provisions site, it was talking about the jerky is available maybe through Waihata, so it's, different locations as well. Is that
I
true?
stopped working in Waihata. We do most of it online in our store, and
Okay.
then at the commissary. And We are looking at doing a few stores. We're talking through right now about going into more convenience stores, but we're mostly focused on online sales.
Yep.
Um, that's it's where the money is. So we try to offset the cost. I mean, it costs us a lot of money to produce the product. We lose half the product when we make it, right?
Yeah.
And dehydration. Then we pay the USD to go on the hunt. So there's a lot of money going out and a little bit coming in. So our job is to sell half of it online, and then we move into. We love the military. We love working with them. They love our product. They're an incredible organization to work with, and we're really happy about having them as a partner. And we keep growing. We used to be in Foodland. We used to be in all kinds of places. We've had all kinds of issues, but that's the nature of business in Hawaii. Is you got to figure out your niche and stick to it.
Yeah, and adapt, right? It sounds like you're figuring it out, adapting as you need to, and that's kind of what it takes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's probably what it takes in life as well as business.
It, and even this rain has taught us a lot. Like we couldn't hunt for like a month and a half, right? So we ran out of deer, and we're like, "What are we going to do now?" And luckily, I have connections to buffalo and bison, so we're able to like trade bison for product that we made already and have that connection with our Native American brothers. And we're looking to do more of that. So we're connecting with Native people and trading instead of trading for money, we're trading food. And that we're really stoked about that new partnership. And we're doing that in Alaska. We're doing that in Montana. And we're doing that in South Dakota.
Great. That's great. And you mentioned you do have a storefront on Oahu, so folks could stop by there too and
That's
talk
the Harbor
stories.
Market in Delhi.
Yeah. Yep. And that's Honolulu, I imagine, or
It's in Palolo, which is a food
oh.
desert, so we're stoked to be
Oh,
in
nice.
that food desert.
Okay. And that
And
was the address you gave out earlier. Is that right?
1720 Palolo Avenue.
Okay, great. Yeah. And folks that are off that on neighbor islands, email is that I saw that you had an email address and I think
Yeah,
even a phone number on one of the websites, but is that are you an email phone guy? Is what do you prefer for folks that
email
are
and
off island?
phone and sometimes text, but I'll do everything. So I'm either fixing fences, I'm driving, I'm delivering, I'm doing a bit of everything. Uh,
Hunting, you don't know.
yeah. Uh, but the email is iggy@makanaprovisions.com, and our
Okay.
phone number is 808-838-9315.
Okay, great. I'll make sure that's in the show notes as well. So thank you for that. Um, and can you tell where your sales are? Is it Hawaii? Is it a big percentage Hawaii? Is a lot of it mainland? Is it international? Like where are you selling product these days?
Mostly here in Hawaii, and most of it goes to the military. They love
Okay.
our product there. Guys who come here, they're far away from home. And I know there's always a tension between Hawaii and military people, but it's not the military, the people that serve. It's a complex that's hard to maneuver, and everyone's trying to make the best decisions for what they need to do. Um, but you have people that are farmers also. Their family were farmers, and they joined the military because they felt like they had no other option, and they miss home and they miss hunting. And so when they get some of the deer, they're super stoked. They get our hot sauce, they're super stoked. Um, so I think in terms of how we share things, that we look beyond. Um, oh, you're military, or you're Holly from here, or you're that, and just go like, man, people are humans, and we're all trying to figure it out and work together.
I was looking at your website. I think you even have like non-meat options there too. I think your hot sauce or you have like a veggie burger. Did I see that right?
Yeah, we've been making veggie burgers. We smoke everything so it tastes like it's meat. So we trick people by uh by the smoke. I think the smoke adds a flavor that makes people think it's meat.
Yeah.
And I've learned tricks how to use fat, how to use avocado and make it as fat. And so
There's
yeah,
the
we
chef. Yeah, there's the chef coming out.
yeah.
So you've been doing this, is it about 16 years? Does that sound
Yeah.
about right? Yeah. What are some of the, struggles that you've had to encounter and maybe how you found ways to overcome them? Because I mean, Seeds of Wellbeing is about trying to help Hawaii ag producers address mental health issues as they run into them.
Sure. I mean, I think knowing farmers and their issues, and how to deal with them, how to deal with invasives, and that's where I try to focus what I can do. Um, Meat industry is really hard, and especially where you see the impact right away in Hawaii. Um, and I've had several instances where I wanted to quit. I was like, "What am I doing?" And this costs so much. Is it worth it? Is it worth for the stress for me and my wife? Um, and I think it comes back to like it took me leaving Hawaii to I went up to Montana and all these things aligned and um, they gave me a wild horse that had all these like, and it happened to be from Arizona on the Apache res, and so I got to ride this horse, and I was like, yeah, I forgot what I'm doing. I'm here to feed spirit, and um, I think it lightens the load when you think that way, and that you're feeding the community. It's not about yields and um, how do you say it? If I was to measure success, it wouldn't be by the money that we're making because we're not making any real money yet. And maybe one day we will, but it's not about that. It's about feeding people spirit and what are we doing in that process of bringing spirit to the land and connecting to land and um, helping people connect to what they need to. And my job is really to help farmers. I see myself as my job is really to help them see other ways to sell their products. Like I have farmers who are growing San Marzano tomatoes. Now they're growing hundreds of them for me because I plan on making a sauce, a spaghetti sauce, right? So I think that's where not really failures, but loss of hope. Um, and when you get back to spirit and realize that you're feeding spirit, that it lightens the load, I think, and it's easy to get discouraged, but when you really feel in your heart that that's the right thing to do, then I think it lightens that. And it's easy to forget, you know. I when I met Tao, and
Yep, Tom.
um, she mentioned that there's a lot of farmers committing suicide in Hawaii, and I'm like, what? And how can that be? And I see that maybe it's because they're feeling disconnected. Maybe there's not enough young people looking and listening to them and what they know. It could be the system is not working for them, and we get hung up on success and failure, and the yield. What is the yield? What like instead of like, hey, these people are a member of our community, and they feed us. So let's see what we can do to help them out. And I think when you get beyond yourself, you forget the problems you have personally. So I think it's good that we connect with people. I'm lucky to have people I can connect with that have been in the food industry and help me straighten out and look at the place and look at land and connecting to land and you know growing up looking at community. You couldn't look at community without looking at the soil. And every teaching when I was taught to teach and to work with youth, it was like, it's great you're working with youth. The elders would tell me, but what about the elders? You can't fix a tree and put it right back in the same forest and have the same issue because the rotten trees are going to make that sapling rotten again. So you got to fix the whole community, work as a community together to fix the forest. And a lot of those teachings is it goes back to even looking at they looked at issues as strata. They say it's just like the dirt. We have anger, resentment, and at the bottom is fear. How am I going to feed myself? How am I going to feed my family? And if we look at our environment and our connection to land, then um, we can see humanity a little better, I think.
Yeah, so look to nature for some of the answers, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it sounds like when you feed, what I hear you saying is when you're feeding other people's spirits, it feeds your spirit. Is that accurate?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Tao is my boss. She's started the Seeds of Wellbeing project and has been managing it from the early stages of the program when we did surveys of over 400 Hawaii ag producers to it was funded by the Department of Mental Health because of rising rates of suicide and depression amongst ag producers nationwide. And so it was started to study Hawaii ag producers specifically. Is this the Seeds of Wellbeing Project was for that. And based on the survey results, we've been trying to come up with a number of resources. And I know Tao has published a number of papers. She works at University of Hawaii in the psychology department, and so has some published papers there that list more details. We could share some links there too for folks that are interested. But yeah, it's pretty alarming, and so we hope that anything that folks can share about how to overcome those issues is really welcome. Like
Listen to
some
your elders. Go meet an elder before they're gone, before the knowledge is gone. I think that's always been, as a Native American, that's always been something that we look to, and I think we become this society now with phones and everything else is, oh, look at me, I created this, I did this. And no, you didn't. Like, the elders did this. They fought with guns to keep water rights for you to do what you're doing now. And you're forgetting that, you're not acknowledging that. And they feel alone. And so we should be talking to our elders and listening to what information they have. And I think connecting with elders is really important, and you just learn so much. And um, yes, there's a way for the future and all that technology, but if you don't actually put your hands and your laughter into that soil and those plants, there's no real life in that product. And connect with them. Just have coffee. We're opening up. We're gonna. I'm putting it out there right now that anyone that wants to come have coffee, we're open from 10 till 6 Mondays, Tuesdays through Saturdays. Free coffee. Come and talk story and connect with us. And if you're a farmer and you need ideas or you need to talk to someone, come by and talk with us. We'll help whatever we can do.
What's the future look like for Makana?
Um, we'd like to build what we're doing bigger and go beyond, and we're looking at the partnerships with the Native Americans and the Lakota Sioux. They have an incredible program. We'd love to do it here. We've had no help here, so it's been easier to work with our brethren and the Lakotas. They have nonprofits to help kids, and they also have a warrior project where they bring people are coming out of prison or they're coming out of rehab and stuff like that, or abuse. They go and stay at the Warriors Lodge and they learn how to be native again, basically. And then before they can go back into the community, and then so we're creating jobs and we're creating, opportunities. They're hunting bison in the old way too, finally. So that's become something that's growing, and they just did a hunt at Yellowstone for some of the original line of bison. We got some of that here for us to use, and so we're excited about that. We'd love to do more of that in Hawaii with more Hawaii products. Um, through our nonprofit, we have the Makana Foundation. We haven't done a lot lately. We do give food away. We'd love to give food away. I mean, that's really the big thing, and so we're figuring out how do we make that happen. How do we make enough to support giving away food and feeding people that need it? And our kids eating spam with squeeze is not the answer. We're trying to find ways to. We're talking with the DOE this month. We're hoping to get venison burgers on the menu in the schools and see what happens. We'd like we're 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 hoping to go to 5,000 stores with the military in the mainland. And the more, I have a theory that the more we sell things abroad at a higher price, the lower we can keep it for our locals here. So that's kind of our goal. And we have we want to offer value added meals, so complete meals. So we'll be looking at farmers to provide that for us, um, provide the foods that we need in those meals. And we'll have different companies, but want to keep making a difference in Hawaii's food programs, and that's really what we're all about.
When I saw on the foundation website, there's Ola Pharmacy, pharmacy with an F.
Yes,
Is that kind of one of your pet projects as well?
yes,
Yeah,
and
tell
and
us
that's
about that.
so eating as medicine, food is medicine, and the theory my grandpa used to say, the best food for you is the one from your backyard or as close as possible to your backyard. So whether it's from this island or in your island, you eat your own food. Our goal is that we teach um, recipes and ideas and make the foods. People, I like making my own food. Um, I don't always like to eat other people's food. Um, but we want to have the option so that if you don't know how to eat the invasives, you don't know how to eat certain things, that we make it for you, make it easy for you to access and eat it. And so that's treating food as medicine, that it has spirit, that it's not, it's a holistic approach to medicine. Is it starts with what you eat and put in your mouth.
Great. Well, folks that are interested can check that out online, I think.
Yeah.
I found it pretty fascinating myself. We thank Iggy for sharing details of the work of Makana Provisions and Foundation. While hunting is by no means a new way of obtaining food, it's a relatively new approach to addressing the feral ungulate problem on the islands, and is one that's being looked at by many as a possible win-win for everyone. Now let's hear some closing thoughts from Iggy.
We did grow up ranching. My dad had a construction company in Texas, and one of the things that we had was a ranch. And my mother's family is in Mexico, and her father was Sicilian, and her mother came from Spain. So they were fresh to Mexico, and people that worked the ranch in Mexico. So we've been ranchers for a long time, and um, I don't know. As a kid, you shoot what moves at night, and you fix fences. That's what a cowboy was. You protect your animals, right? And so I didn't know much about the rest of it, but I grew up, and as I grew up, I learned more and more about it. And keep your animals clean, keep them fed and watered, and treat them nice. You don't ride animals. You don't you don't do. I'm gonna get a lot of slack for this, but you don't abuse your animals. You don't go to rodeos. I would get in trouble, and I know our family had people that were bullfighters. My grandpa was like, no, no, you don't do bullfighting. You didn't know why are you using animals, and uh,
Yeah.
and everybody on the ranch was family. Nobody was like workers. Everybody was treated like family, and it was a nice way to grow up and visiting. And we weren't there all the time, but every summer we got to go hunting and go play rancher and play cowboy. So it was kind of fun.
Any final words you want to share to Hawaii ag producers as our target audience out there?
Um, not much, not much that I know, but I think we're all learning as we grow, and that's part of growing, and that's part of farming. And I think going back to spirit and connecting with the spirit, I think that's the most important thing we can do. It's hard. It's not easy. The meat business is really hard. Um, I don't know if you know, but it was gangsters that ran in Texas, in Chicago, before it moved to Texas, and I think you still got some of that hanging out. And um, yeah, it's a tough business, and I'm sure I know what it's like to farm. It's not easy. It's hard, and they have a hard way. Um, so I have a real heart for that, and you know, whatever we can do, is it all comes back to spirit. Is pray for the land, connect to the land, and put your hands in the dirt. If you've never put your hands in the dirt, you don't truly understand. So I encourage people to help farmers and volunteer to help farmers, and um, help them help them get a leg up, and really sit there and connect with them and connect with the land.
That's great. Great advice. Thank you. Thank you for that. And
Okay.
aloha.
Aloha. Thank you.
The intention of these podcast series is to create a safe space for respectful and inclusive dialogue with people from across a broad and diverse spectrum involved in growing and making accessible the food we share together. A diversity of voices, perspectives, and experiences can serve to deepen mutual understanding, to spark creative problem solving, and provide insight into the complexities of our agricultural system. If you, our listeners, have experiences with Hawaii agriculture ecosystem, from indigenous methods, permaculture, smallholder farmers, to large, including multinational agricultural, industrial companies, and everywhere in between, and you would like to share your story, please contact us. We welcome your voices and perspectives.
Your last name, Fleischhauer, is German, so do you want to translate what that means? And I thought it was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it actually means butcher. I think our family was butchers that came from Germany.
The Seeds of Wellbeing offers services to agriculture producers and farm workers, including families who may be struggling with mental health challenges, in the form of peer support, vouchers for free services, including in-person on the farm mental health therapy, online individual mental health therapy, couples therapy, trauma-informed equine assisted services, healing with horses, and occupational support services. Your wellness is important, so please contact us at sow.ctar@gmail.com to claim free vouchers and allow us to support you.